Hey Sneakies, welcome back for some more Warframe. In this episode, we're finally going to see the introduction of the infamous melee weapon, the Dragon Nikana. Remember to leave a like as always, subscribe for more videos, and I do hope you enjoy. Let's do this! Alright, now in order to build the Dragon Nikana, we do require a regular Nikana, and the blueprint for this is located in the Clan Dojo Research Labs. If you're not already in a clan, you can join one just to go and print yourself a copy, or even get your friend to bring you to theirs. And then you need 3 argon crystals, 75 oxium, 200 alloy plates, and 1 former to actually start building it. The argon crystals are pretty most commonly found in the survival missions of the Void. Oxium you can find from Oxium Ospreys on any Corpus tile set mission. Alloy plates are very abundant, especially in the Void. And forms, you can find those as rewards in survival missions of the Void as well, or even just the blueprints to build those. Those are probably going to be the hardest ones to actually come across. Anyways, we're going to build this, and then we're going to head over to the Dragon Nikana. And now all we have to do is acquire the Dragon Nikana blueprint, which is in the market now, not even just the Clan Dojo like it previously was. Then here it is on the top row, for 30,000 credits. The Dragon Nikana is forged from ancient Tenno steel. This is a master's weapon, only the most worthy of Tenno may wield it. Definitely sounds fierce. And then after acquiring it and going to the foundry, it costs an additional 5,000 credits to build, as well as 1 argon crystal, 75 oxium, and the Nikana we just built. And here it is, Sneakies, the infamous Dragon Nikana. So this is an upgraded version of the regular Nikana, which has already made several appearances in the series up to this point. However, now we finally get to add this beastly weapon to the mix. Now, this has been the best melee weapon in the game up to this point, and it still is as far as I know. I haven't heard otherwise, so I'm just going to proceed with the assumption that it currently still is. Now, let's go check out which mod slots it has on it by default. And very nice, it actually does have a couple. It has the V-shaped, which is for damage-based mods. And what I typically like to put here is pressure point, which is this one here. This just bumps up the melee damage, so at max rank 120% will definitely bump it up a lot. And I mean a lot. And we could also put other things there as well, like reach to increase the range, or even organ shatter to increase critical damage. True steel over here will increase critical chance. Usually I would stick with those 4, but more often than not I would put pressure point here. That's because that's typically a go-to mod for any melee weapon. And then we also have the defensive mod here, and I believe there's actually only 2 mods in my entire arsenal that can even fit in that slot. So we have North Wind, which increases extra freeze damage, and also Melee Prowess, which is for status chance. Now, realistically, I'm not going to put either one of those there because I really don't typically use either one of them, so very likely I'll end up formering that out later on. Formers will actually allow you to change which icon is on a slot, so it's always good to keep in mind. You can't use those until you actually reach rank 30 with them, and you have to keep going over and over again, kind of like a Prestige in Call of Duty. And yes, so we'll definitely have to look into that later on. Anyways, before we get going, let's take a quick look at the stats over here on the left side. Now, attack speed is only 1, so that could definitely use a bump up. Channeling, I don't really use that when I have my melee weapon equipped, so I'm not even going to look at that. And critical chances at 15%, that's not too bad. If we put a true steel on in there, we could bump it up even more to make sure we get plenty of critical hits. And the critical multiplier is only at 2, we could bump that up a little bit too as well. Leap attack, spin attack, and wall attack are all fairly decent. I believe that's kind of like the typical range for that. That might be a little bit higher actually than I'm used to seeing. And status chances are at 15%, that's actually pretty nice too. Now, the real stats that I typically look at are impact, puncture, and slash. So impact is the damage against Corpus, puncture is more for the Grenier faction, and slash is for the infestation. So clearly looking at those stats, this is more or less going to be the most effective against the infestation. However, still going to be pretty effective against the other 2 factions as well, especially when it starts to level up. And we also have the V-shaped stance mod slot. I believe I do have that. Oh yes, Decisive Judgment. So we're not going to put this here because we typically don't even put the aura mod on Warframes when we do the intro episodes. However, as soon as this episode is over, we will equip that, and then we'll have immediate access to even more points to equip other mods right away. Now let's finally head over to our mission and test this out. Alright, we're going to head over to the mission called Romula. It's on Venus. It's a dark sector defense. That of course does mean the infestation controls it, and their levels range from 10 to 20. So even though this is an unranked Nikana, it should still be pretty effective against them considering the stats already on it by default. Now let's go get them. Infiltrated, here we go.
Our position has been compromised. Defend the cargo until reinforcements arrive.
Alright, Sasha, let's go take care of this defense mission. Now, I believe that this last update actually changed some of the controls around, which is very peculiar because you could normally press R1 to slice with the melee weapon equipped, but look what it does now. Uses the power, which is very unusual, so you have to press circle now to actually slice and dice. It's going to take some getting used to because I'm normally used to the other way.
Reinforcements are inbound. Hold the line.
Alright, anyways, we should be able to handle this pretty well. Sasha will definitely do some damage, I'm hoping. So, if you've been following the series, you're already well aware of what a defense mission entails. Basically, they're going to try attacking this cryopod.
Multiple targets ahead. Leave no one standing.
And we're going to stop them. We only have to survive for 5 waves, and then we're going to hop out. Just trying to give an idea of exactly what you can expect from the Dragon Nikana when you immediately acquire it. Oh, look at this thing. It's crazy already. Now, keep in mind that the Infestation are the easiest faction in the game to actually kill. But they're also at least 10 ranks higher than this Dragon Nikana is currently ranked. That only took 1 slice. Oh, look at Sasha go too. Oh man, I love this weapon already. Now, people have been telling me that this is the best melee weapon for the longest time, and I wasn't really sure to believe them because some people say that the Dakra Prime with Crimson Dervish stance on is actually even more powerful. And there seems to be a lot of people with different opinions on it, but generally speaking, it seems like the Dragon Nikana is considered the best melee weapon regardless. This is taking absolutely no effort either. It almost makes me not want to use it because it's less challenging. I'm also not really a big fan of the actual slicing animation. I really prefer the Dakra Prime when it comes to swords anyway. This definitely controls very similar to the regular Nikana. How's it going, Sasha? Look how fierce she is. I also really enjoy how she randomly makes me invisible, even when I don't want to. She's helpful in kind of random ways. Alright, so this is already up to rank 1, 2. Oh, look at her go! Unfortunately, she can only take down 1 at a time, it looks like, basically, here. That's why the Kubros don't really seem to be as effective necessarily against the Infestation, because usually you'll see a lot more units of this faction than you will of the Grunera Corpus. Seems to do a lot better against them. But she's still pretty effective, definitely offering a helping hand. Oh, where do you think you're going, buddy? Oh, you're gonna explode? I don't think so. This thing is ridiculously overpowered. Well, if it's doing this now, just imagine what it's gonna potentially do at rank 30. Especially when it's fully modded. Oh man, the possibilities are nearly endless. So who wants to go next? I've also kind of changed my opinion on the Shuriken, I think that's how you pronounce it. See, look how effective this is. You throw it once and it takes down 2 of them. This actually has a chance of dealing the slash or the bleeding proxy effect. And that just makes it so that... Oh man, oh man, oh man, get away from it! That makes it so they continue taking damage to their actual health meter. So even if it penetrates the corpus's shields, it will still deal damage to their actual health. And that's why sometimes you'll notice that your health is going down even though you still have shields. That's because you get hit with the bleeding effect. And it also happens to be especially effective against the infestation because they take more damage from slash-based attacks. Because they're flesh. Here, have another one, buddy. The more you play the game, you'll find your opinions change on a lot of different things. Like even Necros' Soul Punch, I'm sure I'm going to find plenty of uses for that. I really like how they changed it so that you can't equip them the abilities as mods anymore, so you can't even take them off. Like, I know people would actually base their formers around taking off like Soul Punch or any of the other starting abilities that seem useless, but now you automatically have them at all times. And quite frankly, it makes more sense to handle it that way. This thing is crazy. Can't believe I've been missing out on it this whole time. It's kind of like the Bolt or Prime of the melee weapons. I know a lot of people would prefer a challenge instead of being just ridiculously overpowered, so it's really going to depend on your preferences and your playstyle and all that stuff. Like, personally, I like using all kinds of different melee weapons and all kinds of different regular weapons, especially if they're unique, like the Miter, for example. I can't wait to actually acquire that. It takes so long, you have to keep farming the Phobos boss. And I guess it actually shoots out like saw blades. Also, the Pent is really cool because it's the only grenade launcher in the game. The Ogress is kind of decent too.
Multiple biosignatures detected. We've got infested incoming.
Personally, I'm not a big fan of it though. It's a rocket launcher, but I don't know. Just doesn't quite do it for me. It kind of uses the playstyle of bows and those types of weapons where you have to hold down the trigger and all that. So I guess maybe if I was more into the bows than I am, I'm not really too big on them. Although the Paris Prime definitely changed my mind a bit in that department. Alright, this is going to be the last wave, by the way. Hey, get away from there, you stupid ancient. I don't like you. Oh, they're actually starting to do some damage to me. Took them some time. Eventually, they always get there, though. Nicely done, nicely done. Oh, yeah. This might be the last group of them coming now. Last guy. No, there's still some more back there. Always watch out for those exploders. They typically will be the ones that do the most damage aside from the ancients. That's because if you don't kill them quick enough, they'll explode, and you kind of stumble for a little bit, then you become vulnerable. This could definitely use a bump up in the attack speed department for sure. I'm going to have to keep that in mind. But that's the end of these waves, so we're going to extract now.
Extraction is ready. Unless you can handle more of the enemy. Very impressive, Tenno. You held them all back. Time to get out of here.
Are you kidding me? It went up to rank 5 in one mission? That is insane. Alright, back to our home ship.
Tenno, your codex has been updated with a new quest.
Man, she loves bringing up these new quests all the time, doesn't she? Alright, so here's a quick look at what we acquired. Here's some mods that we got. We actually got a fairly decent amount for only 5 waves. Here's a quick look at the stats. And how many melee kills? 115. That's really crazy, too. Alright, anyways. So, yeah, the Dragon Nikana went up to rank 5 in that one mission, which I guess really isn't that crazy because they were a significantly higher level than the weapon itself is right now. But when you take into consideration that it was also a solo run, you really don't see 5 upgrades right in that single mission. But alas. Anyway, Sneakies, the Dragon Nikana is clearly going to be a very awesome weapon. I mean, it already is, so I can only imagine what it's going to be like at the max rank. So definitely consider building it for yourself. Let me know your thoughts below on it. And thanks so much for watching. As always, I really do hope you enjoyed. Remember to leave a like, subscribe for more videos in the future, and I will see you next time.